Okay, before we begin our meeting today, I want to call up Donna Boston from our Emergency Management Center. As you know, we've had some recent earthquakes. It's now getting into the wildfire season, and we always want to make sure that as a county we are prepared, and as residents we're prepared for any type of emergency that could occur. So, Donna, why don't you give us a quick presentation? Thank you.
Thank you. Chairwoman Bartlett, members of the Board of Supervisors, my name is Donna Boston, and I'm with the Orange County Sheriff's Department Emergency Management Division. Sitting here with me are Michelle Anderson, Vicki Osborne, and Lee Kaiser. They are part of our Emergency Management Manager team, and we're a team of 17 that work on countywide emergency management on a daily basis. Also with me is Commander Sawyer. First, I'm going to take you from the kind of broad perspective in narrow, and then we're going to broaden it back out. So I'd like to begin with the first rule of disaster management, and that's that all disasters are local. Response begins at the city level, and the county responds in for unincorporated county area for our community members there. The county has a dual role, though. We act as the operational area, and we are in charge of mutual aid and resource management countywide. Cities and other local government jurisdictions must come through the county to share information with the state of California and the federal government, and that is also how they receive state and federal resources to help them manage their disaster. But again, all disasters are local. They come through the county and receive resources and share information that way. To speak about the earthquakes that occurred on July 4th and 5th, county emergency responders responded and verified that Orange County rose out of that series of earthquakes without any major problems. Initially, emergency managers on my team, as well as in other county agencies, took actions right away to verify the threat. So that is an action we take with any kind of disaster. We're going to verify the threat. We're going to look specifically at the epicenter and the magnitude of that earthquake. And we are then begin to verify information. Early on, we understood the size of that earthquake. We knew the location. We verified in with our 24/7 dispatch centers, so Sheriff's Department Dispatch Center and Fire Authority Dispatch Center, as well as Control One, to determine what impacts were being seen around the county. Initially, we are able to receive a pretty good snapshot of what's going on in the county doing that. And within 15 minutes, we know that we're not seeing major damage. We take that a little bit further. We make sure that we communicate out with all of the operational area jurisdictions. So we send them an update, and we ask them to report in any damage that they're seeing and share any information that they have. On the July 4th earthquake, which was the 6.4, there was no damage noted. We made sure that the California State Office of Emergency Services understood that Orange County was doing just fine so that they can focus in on the most heavily impacted areas. It's important to note that first responders are already sizing up immediately following an earthquake such as this because they're already out in the field working calls for service. On July 4th, most of our cities have high levels of staffing. So that's another good indicator that we're getting good information in through our dispatch centers. So on July 4th, there were no reports of damage in Orange County. On July 5th, earthquake is larger. It's about 10 times larger. And in emergency management, we study these things. We're pretty well versed in earthquake terminology and the studies of earthquakes and fault lines. So we knew this was about 10 times larger. We repeated the actions we took on July 4th, again, verifying earthquake location, magnitude, checking in with our dispatch centers. We do facility checks around the county. So, just like Loma Ridge will check our facility, the same thing happens at John Wayne Airport. And social media posts were pushed out. There was a little bit of minor damage in Huntington Beach with one water main and a few power lines down. Absolutely within the realm that city could handle. And our team also communicated out to the operational area to report in damage again. On this one, we did activate the web EOC system, which is the way that we grab information from those jurisdictions. Again, we communicated our information to the California Office of Emergency Services. And one thing that was different on this earthquake is that Orange County Fire Authority deployed an urban search and rescue team to Ridgecrest upon request. So what you have on the slide in front of you is the web EOC system. It's a dashboard is what you're seeing. This is the only county system that allows jurisdictions to report in information rapidly. So it takes the 100-plus local government jurisdictions, and it grabs their information, they put it in, and we can quickly see the impact across the county. So this is the dashboard for the July 5th earthquake, and you'll see there are green buttons in the middle there. When you see green, that is good. That means that there are no major issues for us to handle. When you see more red on that dashboard, that's going to translate into emergency actions. And behind this status board are more in-depth damage reports. And so we will be looking into those. There will also be resource requests within that system, and we'll go to work and handle those issues. And you also see one of the communications out to the operational area on, I believe that's the July 4th earthquake. I want to underscore that the communication was provided out to the community on this earthquake through our public information officers in the county, as well as cities, special districts, school districts. There was a lot of information going out on the earthquakes. Again, we do coordinate with the California Office of Emergency Services, and so we log into the state version of the web EOC system, and we log our status so that the state understands the regional impact of an earthquake such as this. We're also monitoring the status of neighboring counties. So you'll see there's a little snapshot of the San Bernardino flash report. And so we keep tabs on what's going on in our neighboring counties so that we can understand where Orange County will sit with regard to resource management and other complications. In an earthquake situation or another regional disaster, the network of our infrastructure is critically important to understand. So what if it happens here? I think we're all familiar with the fact that there are many, many different fault lines, and not all of them are distant from Orange County. We have plenty of opportunities to have a large earthquake that directly impacts Orange County. Could be the Southern San Andreas Fault, could be the Newport Inglewood Fault, or the San Joaquin Hills Fault. There are many that can impact Orange County. We do have a threshold for activation of the Emergency Operations Center when an earthquake inside the county of 5.0 or greater strikes. And we do determine, based on shaking and things of that nature, where we need to be checking on things. So for any earthquake of 5.0 or greater, the county EOC will activate, and that's within the county boundary. The county EOC will activate, and we're going to go to work, starting with notifications, establishing situational awareness. We're going to obtain information on our lifelines, such as communications, electrical system, water, transportation system, and our medical system. And then we will be responding to the greatest impacted area. For the Board of Supervisors, this may include a proclamation of emergency. As the operational area lead agency, the county has a big job to prioritize scarce resources. We do not have a responder for every single community member in this county. And so the county will go to work to manage and support our jurisdictions. City jurisdictions will go to work on a major disaster, and we will all work to solve those very difficult problems. But it underscores the importance of our community being prepared. Personally, we all need to consider that a major disaster will occur in our lifetimes. And we provide the ReadyOC website as a tool for our community members that makes it very simple to learn how to be prepared. You can build your emergency preparedness kit, you can make your plan, and you can be sure to be informed. And it's very simple. You just go to readyoc.org, you click on the preparedness tab, print out the emergency kit checklist, and build your kit. It does not have to be difficult. You do the same for your emergency plan. And I know that this is not the first time everybody's heard this information. If you've been in California for more than 10 years, you've heard about building a kit for 72 hours. In the immediate aftermath of the July 4th earthquake, I started quizzing the people that were around me. They were not people that I knew, but I asked them, do you have an emergency preparedness kit? Not one answered that they did, which of course concerns me. So Ready OC, you need to build your kit. One of the other pieces that you need to be aware of is making sure that you're going to be informed during an emergency. And the Board of Supervisors supports the county by providing funding for the Alert OC program, so thank you very much for that. Alert OC is the way that we will provide emergency alerts and warnings to our community members. These are driven by public safety, and they are for emergencies such as mandatory evacuation orders, boil water orders, or shelter-in-place orders. And this is one of the systems that we will use to communicate directly with our community members. But it is incumbent upon every single person to opt in their information. Based on our statistics within the Alert OC system, we know that not everybody in this room has registered for Alert OC. We know that because only about between 70 and 75,000 people in our county have opted in their mobile device information. So I ask everybody in this room to make sure you're registered for Alert OC, and you want to go into alertoc.org, and you want to enter your areas of interest. And there's a reason for this. You want to enter your address. You want to enter, if you have a child in school, you want to enter the school address. You want to enter an address such as your workplace. Perhaps you have an aging relative. You want to enter their address because that is how you will receive an alert that that area is impacted by an emergency. So it's very critical that we all opt in that information. When we launch to Alert OC, we're doing it in a system like that. We're going to be able to launch to E911 phone numbers, which are landline phone numbers. That's the only data that we have within our system to launch to. We need the opt-in mobile device information, and then we're going to layer that, and we're going to also grab the wireless emergency alert system and use that as well. But it's very complicated to make sure that we're going to alert and warn our community, and so you have to be able to receive all of those pieces of information. Wireless emergency alert only works in the impacted area. If somebody works in Los Angeles County and lives in Orange County, and we issue a wireless emergency alert in Orange County, and they're at work, they will not receive it. They will only receive that if they're opted into the Alert OC information, into the Alert OC system. So that's very critical. Our alert and warning system works rapidly, but it does take time to craft the message. We verify information with the incident command system, incident command personnel. We make sure that we have the correct area to launch to, and then we're going to push it out. It is important to note that we're going to do this, and we're going to layer it with field personnel knocking on doors, alerting our community in person. We're going to launch Alert OC and Wireless Emergency Alert. We're going to use public information officers to push social media, and then we'll be updating live websites with current disaster information. Now, clearly I could talk for hours about disasters, so I'll stop there and ask the board if they have any questions.
Okay, Supervisor Chafee.
Oh, yes, I'd like to thank you for the great tour you gave me and my staff. And I was amazed at how detailed you are in all the roles the different departments that play, including the Board of Supervisors. And I think we're in very good hands. There's one thing that I found kind of neat, and that's the human touch. There are a number of people there who respond to people who have had disasters, and they're especially trained to calm them down, let them know they're going to get help. And I remember that message that's posted there, the people calling, this is probably the worst day of their lives, treat them appropriately. So I'd like to thank you for all the great work you're doing, and we're really on top of everything compared to the counties.
Thank you.
And Donna, thank you. Excellent presentation. And it's always good to have that reminder that we need to be prepared. At my senior summit 2 years ago, we had about 850 seniors there, and we gave away the big white plastic buckets with the checklist on the side. They all came senior summit, walked out with their buckets and got them filled up so that in the event of emergency where you've got 20 minutes to leave your home, they've got all of the essentials they need right there, can grab the bucket and go. And I think everybody needs to just keep that in mind because we never know when we're going to get an emergency, when we're going to get on the coast a tsunami warning or have an earthquake or a fire. And those things, when they come quickly, when those emergencies come upon us really fast, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have the luxury of time to be able to react. We have to know instinctively kind of what to do and to get our family members out of the house safely and pets. And we've got to have that mental checklist and be ready to go. So I appreciate you providing this great information and reminder to all of us.